Hey everybody, welcome in. Tonight we're going to go ahead and open up a few more vintage baseball card packs and see what we can pull. As always, I've got my assortment here ranging from lowest potential up to highest potential in the different stacks. And if you've watched any of my videos, sometimes you know ends up being the best stack. It's just that's one of the great things about baseball cards is you can spend $50,000 on a rare pack and get nothing, and you can spend $1 on a fairly common pack and pull out a card worth $5. Just really never know what you're going to get on that particular day. But we're going to go ahead and get started here. We're going to start off with one of my favorite sets growing up. As a teenager, the 1988 Top set. A lot of errors in here. Haven't really pulled any of the cards out of the box yet that have any of the errors, so I don't know whether this is an error box or not. But we're going to go ahead and see what we can pull out of here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and see what we can pull out of here. Looking for some error cards, looking for some rookie cards. Tom Glavine rookies in here. Matt Williams first official card, even though he has a Topps traded set in '87. So we'll see what we can pull out of here. We're going to start off with the Jeff Musselman Rookie Cup, Red Sox leaders, Wes Gardner, Ron Robinson, Frank Viola, Paul Nosey, Mike Easler, Dale Mahoric, John Habian, Tom Herr, Pete Incaviglia, Charlie O'Brien, Wayne Tollison, Dick Schofield, and Kurt Ford. So nothing much starting out here. Now we're going to go to one of my favorite sets. I love this set, just not a lot of value out of it because the rookies just didn't pan out and overproduced packs. But 1990 Donruss. Always loved opening these back in 1990. It was probably my favorite set in that year. At the time, anyway. And we did put a lot of wax on here, so sometimes the packs are hard to open up. And we start off with a Carl Yastrzemski puzzle image. Jeff Paterick, Pedro Guerrero, Dwayne Ward, Ricky Horton, Pete O'Brien, Dave Bergman, Jeff Musselman again, Andy Hawkins, Tom Bernansky, Mark Parent, Bob McClure, Dan Schatzeder, Doug Strange, Jim Clancy, and Chris Bosio, Diamond King. So nothing much out of that pack either. So now we can go over to 1990 Fleer. A lot of good rookies in this one that didn't make some of the other base sets here. Dave Justice was a hot card, really hot find back in 1990. You really didn't have a whole lot of rookie cards in the base sets. So we'll see what we can find here. We've got Jay Tibbs, Gerald Young, Ricky Henderson, The Dreaded Checklist, Eric Plunk, Cecilio Guante, Pete Incaviglia, Darrell Evans. There's a Delano DeShields, Jason Grimsley rookie, so that would have been a hot find back in 1990. Todd Zeile, another hot find, so this would have been a great pack back in 1990. Mike Benjamin, Greg Jeffries, Randy Milligan, Mike Felder, Terry Leach, and Barry Lyons. So nothing too great now, but that would have been a hot pack and opening it up back in 1990. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1991 Studio. Bagwell rookie is the top card in here. But I always love looking at some of the pictures because just nice little yearbook senior mug shots here. We start off with Bobby Bonilla, Kevin Belcher, very serious look on his face. John Farrell, not sure what he's thinking in that one. Steve Farr, Ray Langford, Kelly Gruber, Sandy Alomar, not one of his better pictures, Jesse Barfield, somebody just told him a joke, and Ellis Burks in the Thinking Man serious position, and George Brett, always a classy photo. Some pretty good names there, nothing too fancy. And then 1992 Studio, again with the same glamour style shots of the 90s. Brian McRae, Jose Offerman, Dennis Martinez showing his ability to hold 4 baseballs, B.J. Surhoff, Greg Harris, Edgar Martinez, Royce Clayton, Scott Erickson, John Crook, Donnie Baseball, Jose Lind, and Mike Moore. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1992 Leaf. Not a lot in here, especially in Series 1. There is the Jeff Kent rookie. Would love to pull. There is a black parallel set here, so I'd love to pull a nice parallel card in each of these packs here. You're going to start off with Kelly Gruber. Our black parallel is going to be Brent Main, Chuck Knobloch, Dean Palmer, Charlie Hayes, Greg Jeffries, Mark Leiter, Brent Main in the base set card, Mark Carrion, Greg Myers, Doug Henry, Mark Lemke, Dennis Eckersley, Bill Spires, and Dwight Gooden. And in Series 2, we start off with Storm Davis. Our black parallel is going to be Danny Tartabull, Dick Schofield, Brian Downing, Gary Sheffield, Carl Willis, Pete Incaviglia, Andy Stankiewicz, Doug Strange, Mark Gardner, Dave Island, Pat Borders, Eric Bell, Brian Hunter, and Dan Pasqua. And our final pack in stack number 1 is going to be 88 score, looking for Glavin, rookie, Matt Williams, a few other nice rookies out of the set here. And we start off with Jose Cruz, Juan Samuel, Tony Pena, Tom Browning, Bobby Meacham, Tim Leary, Kurt Stillwell, Paul Nosey, Sal Butera, Ed Olwine, Bob McClure, Willie Hernandez, Juan Nieves, Al Nipper, Ed Hearn, Rob Murphy, and Mike Aldretti. So no rookies out of that one. And so stack number 1 doesn't provide us with much. So now we go on to stack number 2. We're going to start off with 88 Donruss. I have not pulled a Alomar rookie out of this box yet. I'm not sure if I pulled a Glavin. Don't think this is a search box, but I haven't pulled out any of the bigger names here, so you just never know. We start off with George Hendrick, Dwight Evans, Ernest Riles, Carl Nichols, Dan Petrie, Dave Anderson, Joel Skinner, Dave Clark, Dave Stewart, Dale Mahoric, Dan Quisenberry, Jody Reed, rated rookie, Paul Kilgus, Hubie Brooks, Steve Ontiveros, and Bill Pacoda. Still none of the big names. Alright, so now we're going to go over to 91 score, Series 1. Looking for Musina rookie here. Always love looking at some of the Dream Team shirtless pictures and just different poses there. It's always interesting, just weird cards. We start off here with Will Clark, Nolan Ryan, Jose Canseco, so great start. Ozzie Guillen, Darren Lewis, Mike Benjamin, and Phil Plantier, who would have been a hot rookie to pull back in the day. Jose Offerman, Kevin Seitzer, Steve Lyons, Steve Finley, Jeff Houston, Tony Gwynn, or Chris Gwynn, Mark Grace, Sid Fernandez, and Steve Farr. So some pretty big names, but nothing of high value. And we got 2 packs of 91 Series 2. This one has the Chipper Jones rookie and the off chance of a Mickey Mantle insert or Mickey Mantle autograph, which I hope to get at some point opening these packs. But we have Frank Viola, Brett Butler, Ken Howell, Mike Bielecki, Doug Jennings, Walt Terrell, Scott Ruskin, Tom Bolton, Steve Adkins, Chuck Malone, Jimmy Creamers, Eric Gunderson, Dale Mahoric, Adam Peterson, Kevin Bass, and Mike Brumley. So nothing too fancy out of that pack. And in our second pack here, we're going to open it up. Hope we have a little bit better luck than we've had so far. And we start off with Mike Moore, Rick Rona, Wally Whitehurst, Frank Viola Dream Team. Always thought that was a weird picture, turtleneck, but to each his own. Wally Joyner franchise, Lenny Dykstra franchise, George Brett franchise, Sil Camposano, Paul Ferries, Mel Rojas, Ray Langford, which would have been a hot card in 91, Jerry Kutzler, Ernest Riles, Tony Fossis, Bob Kipper, and Kelly Downs. Alright, so now we go into 91 score, or 91 Leaf have Series 1 and Series 2 with the Gold Leaf rookies. There is the potential some error numbering cards on the Gold Leaf rookies in Series 1, although I have opened up a couple of them and I don't think I have any of them in this box, which I don't even see a Gold Leaf rookie in this pack. So see what we can pull out of here. We've got Doug Jones, Bob Welch, Scott Gereltz. There's a Biggio. Mike Gallego, Mark McLemore, Matt Williams, Eric Yelding, Robbie Thompson, Casey Kendall, Jim Deshaies, John Burkett, Mark Portugal, Tony Phillips, and Brian Holman. And Series 2. And we start off with Joe Carter, Darren Jackson, Mike Pagliarulo, Sam Horn, Dave Howard, Ernie Witt, Carlton Fisk, Darryl Strawberry, Gary Gaetti, Alex Fernandez, Mark Lewis, Eric Schau, Rafael Palmeiro, Blackjack McDowell, Wally Whitehurst. So almost through stack 2 and haven't pulled out much of anything of significance. But we go next to 89 score, looking for Randy Johnson, Biggio, rookies, Sheffield, a few others in here. And we start off here with Von Hayes, Keith Moreland, Tim Tuffle, Darrell Evans, Luis Rivera, Robin Yount, Todd Worrell, Gene Larkin, Mike Doon, Juan Berenger, Rick Leach, Bob Forsch, Dan Quisenberry, Danny Cox, Steve Searcy, and Luis Medina. And our final pack of stack number 2 is going to be 1993 Upper Deck Series 1. Looking for Piazza, technically rookie, but officially this is the second-year card for him, since he did have a Bowman card in 92. We start off here with Jeff Fry, Marquise Grissom, Reggie Sanders, Melito Perez, Blackjack McDowell again, and we've got Darren Jackson, Bobby Bonilla, Jose Lind, Ivan Rodriguez, always love that card, Brooks Jacoby, Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, Orlando Merced, and then we have Mike Maddux, and then our rookies we have Tim Pugh and Joe Vitko, so 2 guys who didn't really do much. So halfway through we have not pulled out anything of significance, but we still have our higher potential packs to go. So we are going to go next to 88 Fleer, looking for Edgar Martinez, Tom Glavine, Matt Williams, Mark Grace, and a few others that are in here, Caminiti. And we start off with a Pirate sticker, Tim Cruz, Steve Ontiveros, Tim The Rock Reigns, Brett Saberhagen, Kurt Stillwell, Steve Buechele, Jesse Orozco, Mike Witt, Rick Shue, Jesse Barfield, Rick Manning, Dan Pasqua, Bobby Bonilla, Gene Larkin, and Matt Noakes All-Star. So the trend continues of not getting much, even though we are getting some decent names, just not a lot in value. All right, so now we go to 1990 Upper Deck. A lot of decent rookies in here, just like the rest of 1990. Just overproduced, and rookies didn't sustain long careers. The steroid era also ruined a lot of their reputation, so just not a lot of value in the set, even though I loved it. It's one of my favorite all-time sets. We have 1990 Upper Deck here, and there is a potential to get a Reggie Jackson autograph, even though it is highly unlikely. But we're going to start off with Bob Welch, Danny Darwin, Nick Asaski, Carlos Quintana, Norm Charlton, Dave Anderson, Alex Sanchez, Craig Lefferts. We have a Minnesota Twins hologram, the dreaded checklist, Randy Milligan, Tommy Gregg, Tony Phillips, Ozzie Guillen, Bobby Rose, and the Reggie Jackson insert, but not the autograph. Alright, so now we're going to go over to 94 Collector's Choice Series 1. Not a lot out of the base set, but I would love to get a gold signature Griffey. Let's see what we can find here. We are going to start off with Jeff Facero, Mike Bordick, Woody Williams does a silver signature, Bernard Gilkey, Jeff Branson, Jeffrey Hammonds, Pedro Martinez, not the Pedro Martinez, but we have Danny Darwin, Daryl Boston, Paul Sorrento, Kirby Puckett team checklist, and then we have Randy Johnson, strikeouts leader. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1990 score, looking for Bo Jackson football, baseball, Frank Thomas, as well as some of the other rookies that are in the set. And we start off with Chris Sabo, Chris Bosio, George Bell, Danny Jackson, Donald Harris, Mike Jackson, Jeff King, Mark Knudsen, Dave Gallagher, Doug Jones, Dave Parker, Dave Stewart, Willie Randolph, Rob Deere, Mike Huff, and Juan Bell. Still not finding anything here. So back in the day, I would have been extremely upset to open up this many packs and not get anything. But looking back on it, it's just fun just looking back at some of the nostalgia and thinking back to when you were a kid opening up these packs. But as we continue on, we are going to go over to 1990 Bowman, looking again for Frank Thomas rookie, Sammy Sosa rookies also in here, and a few others. And we start off with a Will Clark artwork card, Bob Patterson, Tony Perez Chica, Scott Radinsky, Hubie Brooks, Kiki Jones, Jim Presley, Todd Benzinger, Frank White, Rick Rushell, Bruce Hurst, Manny Lee, Billy Ripken, Dave Righetti, and Kevin Elster. As we move on to 94 Collector's Choice, we now have Series 2. I have already pulled out a gold signature, but hoping that there might be possibly a second one in here. So we're looking for Jeters, Alex Rodriguez. There's a Michael Jordan rookie in here. That's not really rookie baseball, but there's a Michael Jordan baseball card in here. But we start off with a Cal Ripken team checklist with Ray Sanchez, Dave Henderson. These are breaking together, but not any paper loss here. But we have Dick Schofield, David Wells. Here's Darryl Strawberry, Joe Girardi, Charles Nagy, Fernando Vina, who I loved watching in AAA. I love speedy players when I get to watch them live. And then we have Pokey Reese, and our signature is going to be Kevin Gross, a silver signature. Almost through stack number 2. Haven't found anything major yet. Normally I put this over in the main stack. I'm not sure why I put this one in this stack here, but 91 Bowman. There's still looking for a Jim Tomei rookie. Have not pulled one out. I'm almost through 3 boxes and have not pulled one yet, so I'm really hoping to get one out of these last few packs. We start off, there's a Colin Powell. I've never pulled that card before, so that's really cool to get that one. I always loved Desert Storms. I'm going to pull that out, even though it's probably not worth anything. We have Kent Anderson, Marty Barrett, Vance Slaw, Rob Deere, Julio Franco with some gum residue all over it, Darren Fletcher, Don Robinson, Rondell White, which would have been a hot card to pull back in the day, David Segui, Tim Nehring, Jerry Shunk, Jeff Robinson, and Jose Uribe. And now we'll go over to 1990 Topps, looking for Frank Thomas, Sammy Sosa rookies, and the outside chance of a no-name on front Frank Thomas. And we start off with the propaganda piece, Mike Jeffcoat, Mike Boddicker, Doug Jones, Nick Osasky, Marty Clary, Rob Murphy, Chuck Clary. There's a Deion Sanders second-year card. Terry Poole, Tommy Lasorda, Jeff Reardon, Rob Dibble, Junior Ortiz, Jeff Ballard, Rick Sutcliffe, and Billy Ripken. And I'm not expecting anything out of this pack here. Almost 100% certain that this was a searched box, but there is that outside chance that I'm wrong, and we can pull out a Canseco or Fred McGriff rookie. We have Andre Dawson, Charles Hudson, Bill Scherer, Bobby Grich, Kent Tukulve, Tom Verdansky, Danny Heap, Jeff Stone, Ken Griffey Sr., Mike Easler, Tim Lawler, Gary Ward, Terry Poole, Tom Diedenfer, and Don Carmen. So if you are someone who opens up boxes looking for good cards, please don't reseal them and sell them to somebody else, because those are the people who ruin the hobby, and just don't need that in the hobby. All right, so now with nothing really to show, we are down to our final stack. We've got some really good packs here, so hopefully we'll pull something nice out of it. I have 1990 Leafs Series 1, looking for Sosa rookies, Ken Griffey Jr., and then are some lesser rookies, like Olerud Zeal, and then also some of the veterans like George Brett and Nolan Ryan that have some value. And we finally get a good card, Brett Butler, and we finally got the kid, Ken Griffey Jr. So we've got our first significant value card. Walt Weiss, Bip Roberts, Mel Hall. There's a Todd Zeal again. That would have been a hot card back in 1990. Gene Larkin, Gary Reedus, Bill Spires, Lenny Dykstra, Kurt Stillwell, Darryl Strawberry, Dave Bergman, Zane Smith, and Sandy Alomar. So nice pull on the Ken Griffey. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a top bolt loader here. Just keep it nice and safe. All right, so our next two packs are both 91 Upper Deck, Find the Nolan. I did just recently get a box of jumbo packs here. If I remember correctly, I think you have a little bit higher chance of getting the Jordan SP1 out of it. Not sure if that's true or not. But in here we have Find the Nolan, potential autographed Nolan Ryan card, highly unlikely, as well as Chipper Jones and Mike Mussina. So we'll start off with the base pack here, the regular pack, I should say. And we start off here with the Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, Stolen Base. I always loved that card when I opened up these packs in 91. Jeff King, Oral Hershiser, Tim Belcher, Chuck Finley, Mike Harkey, Gary Ward, Sweet Lou Whitaker, Tim Wallach, Glenn Allen Hill, Pat Borders, Bonds, Terry Steinbach, an Oakland A's. Local player here, grew up in Norfolk, Virginia. DJ Dozier, also more famous for playing as a running back for the Vikings, even though he didn't have a great career there, but still one of the two-way players back in the early 90s. And then we have Orlando Merced and Dan Plesac. And out of the jumbo pack, there is also the Silver Slugger insert cards in here. So those are something that you don't get out of the base set. And get a Darryl Strawberry. I believe this is actually, I've opened up a few packs off camera. This is actually the third Strawberry out of about 5 jumbo packs that I've opened up. So wish it was Bonds, which has more value in it. But there's then a Propaganda Piece, Dave Hollins, Tim McIntosh, Bo Jackson. He's got 2 cards. This is the base set before he went to the White Sox. Pete Harnish, Scott Bradley, Matt Young, Jose Mesa, Rookie Threats, Bagwell, Luis Gonzalez, and I can't remember who the third one was. Oh, Tuffy Rhodes, who didn't end up having as good a career as the others, but that was a pretty neat card back in 1991. This one you get a couple holograms, so I've got the Yankees and the National League hologram. Dave Parker, Dave Smith, Mickey the Moose Tettleton, and then there is Greg Olson team checklist, Steve Farr, Derek Lilliquist, Mike Perez, Alan Mills, Dave Righetti, Daryl Hamilton, Moises Alou, which was a hot card back in the day. Then we've got Ron Gant as the team checklist for the Braves. Manny Lee, Dave Righetti, Phil Plantier, which would have been a hot card back in the day, as well as Ray Langford, even though that's a second-year card. Randy Myers, and Mike Timlin. So none of the big cards out of there. All right, so now we're going to go to my favorite and least favorite set of all time, 89 Donruss. I can't tell you how many boxes of these I opened up in 89. They were buying them from the Price Club every payday. Always looking for the Griffeys, and for the number of boxes that I opened up, the number of Griffeys that I received is far under what I feel it should have been. And still to this day, especially with a lot of search boxes, it's so hard for me to pull Griffeys, although I'm certain that these boxes, I've got 2 boxes that I'm opening from, and I'm certain that these are not searched, but I still have not pulled out any of the big cards yet. So hopefully we'll get something out of this pack. Cecil Espy, Luis Medina, rookie, Gino Petralli, Andy McGaffigan, Bob Welch, Pat Tabler, John Farrell, John Shelby, Rafael Santana, Ellis Burks, Paul Molitor, Walt Terrell, Dave Winfield MVP, Tom Foley, Ken Williams, and Johnny Ray. So my bad luck with 89 Donruss continues. Don't know how that one got put up here, but that's going as last here. But we have 89 Bowman looking for Griffey rookie in this one as well. So we'll see what we can pull. And we start off with Steve Lake, Jim Abbott, who I would have been thrilled to pull that. I love Jim Abbott. Walt Terrell, Andre Dawson, Edgar Martinez, second year, Jerome Walton, which would have been a hot card back in 1990 after he won the Rookie of the Year. Satchel Paige reprint card. There's a Sheffield rookie, so I'm going to pull that aside even though it doesn't have a lot of value now. And I always love that card. Yvonne Calderon, Nick Osaski, Vance Law, Mike Witt, and Keith Hernandez. All right, so now we get to the Hive potential packs here. So I've got 87 Fleer, 287 Donruss, and an 89 Fleer. If you've watched my videos, you know I do have a couple error boxes here. Still going through those boxes here, looking for Bill Ripken errors, which I know are potentially in this box here. Jeff Treadway and the Randy Johnson ones are the cheaper variations, so those unfortunately are not in this one, but I have pulled a couple Ripken errors, so we'll hope to pull another one tonight. We'll go ahead and start off with 87 Fleer. Bo Jackson is the hot card in this one. There's also Bonds, also Will Clark and Barry Larkin and a few others. And we start off with Corey Snyder, Steve Garvey, Richard Dotson, Thad Bosley, Rick Dempsey, Joe Cowley, Scott Gereltz, Keith Atherton, Bob Melvin, Jim Wynn, Bobby Gritch, Keith Moreland, Danny Tartable, Dave Von Olen, Bobby Witt, rookie, Frank Williams, and Billy Hatcher. So none of the big ones. And go ahead and open up 87 Donruss. Got 2 of these packs here. Looking for the same big rookies from 87 Fleer, but also have the Maddux added in here and Mark McGuire. And we start off with Bob Melvin, Ron Kittle, Bob Shirley, Randy Asador, Teddy Higuera, Jerry Hairston, Brian Clutterbuck, the dreaded checklist, Stu Clyburn, Larry Anderson, Bill Dawley, Mike Boddicker, Cecilio Guante, Ernie Camacho, and Bill Buckner. So none of the big ones in that one. And we go to our second pack of 87 Donruss. And we get Greg Gagne, Rick Shue, Dave Henderson, Rick Roden, Diamond Kings, Jeff Musselman, Brian Downing, Tom Henke, Ron Robinson, Dennis Rasmussen, Mike Marshall, Mike Brown, Jay Tibbs, Von Hayes, Jose Kendo, and a Devon White rookie, which is not a bad card, but not a high value card either. So our final chance at getting something high value outside of the Griffey is our 89 Fleer. Again, looking for Griffey rookies in this, as well as the Bill Ripken Error, the two big ones, as well as Sheffield and a few other minor priced rookies. And we have Mike Bielecki, Pat Sheridan, Dennis Rasmussen, Luis De Los Santos, and Jim Campbell rookies, Chris Gwynn, Bob Brower, Chasey Jones, Frank White, Bruce Benedict, there's an Al Leiter rookie, Jim DeShays, Dick Schofield, Jimmy Key, Gene Nelson, and Ron Jones. So overall, not one of our better nights here. Griffey out of Leaf is the one that saved our night, as well as the Sheffield, and then Colin Powell, which aren't high value cards, but cards that I really like. So I'm glad we got the Griffey to salvage the night. But appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope everybody's having a great night, and hope everybody have a great week, and I'll see you next time.